Good morning. It is hard to believe that it was 35 years ago that I was a freshman in Chapel Hill. I was the second woman of Indian origin behind Rupal Nayak, who was in the class ahead of me. Yes, shout out for Rupal. I still think of myself as that wide-eyed 18-year-old girl. Stephen Aldrich pointed out that might be an example of a beginner mindset. And then I'm reminded that I'm more seasoned than that, being the second speaker in today's roster, rather than the fourth or the fifth. So, how many of you have prepared intro slides like this one? So, they've become a common and very handy and useful tool to tell one's story and one's arc. This is obviously mine. It's the one I used to introduce myself to my new company earlier this year. The reason I have this up is there is one constant that I will never change in this slide. This photograph. It is a photo of my extended family celebrating my father's 80th birthday, which was exactly 4 years ago yesterday. It tells not only my own journey, but also that of my family, with which my own story is inextricably intertwined. It also tells the lessons and the values that are central to our journey. The first of these lessons for me is gratitude. I was and am incredibly fortunate to have been born into this family. It is colorful, diverse, loud, boy is it loud, resilient, and deeply loyal. It is the kind of family where blood is thicker than water and sticks together through all the trials and tribulations that life throws at you. Through it all, my parents, who are in the center of that picture wearing garlands, have been the matriarch and the patriarch, not because of birth order, but because of their immense generosity, their deep sense of duty and service, their loyalty, their unabiding love, and their respect, tolerance, and acceptance of difference. All lessons in leadership without even knowing it. And my dad likes to point out, we're the United Nations. We span 4 countries, multiple faiths, and including believers and non-believers alike. Although it was just my brother and me, we still managed to have 4 weddings because we married people of different faiths. But none of this would have been possible without the risks and the leaps of faith that my grandparents took. My father's parents were from Golden Rock in southern India, a little village. And let me tell you, the only thing golden about Golden Rock was its name. It did have a railway station, and my grandfather had a job at the station and a coveted pension. But my grandmother, who was married to my grandfather at the age of 12 and was wise beyond her limited formal education, knew that my grandfather's greatest passion was to become a journalist. She also realized that that dream could not occur living in Golden Rock. And they made the decision to take a leap of faith, give up that coveted pension, unexpected at that time and unheard of, and took their gaggle of children, for whom they also saw greater opportunity outside of Golden Rock, and moved to Mumbai. While my grandfather never became a journalist, that move and subsequent moves by my parents and their siblings were the sparks that ignited my family. It taught us the importance of following one's passion, the value of education, and being fearless. I'll admit, this last one is more of a work in progress. In 2 generations, we have doctors, professors, CEOs, communicators, community leaders, teachers, dancers, singers, and yes, a lawyer or 2. But for all of the love of my family, I would not have shared this photograph as that wide-eyed freshman when I arrived at Chapel Hill, and candidly would have been embarrassed by it. You see, I grew up in the 70s and 80s and was desperate to assimilate. It was a schizophrenic existence. On the one hand, within the cocoon of my family and community, I immersed myself in my Indian culture. But outside of it, like the little girl in Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, I wanted to be blonde, blue-eyed, and named Diane or Mary. My own legal name, Hema Malini, 10 letters, was too much to hold on to and carry. During my 4 years at Chapel Hill, I had the space and independence to explore and find my own passions and voice. Faced with a world which was largely black and white, in fact, I remember a panel about white Greeks and black Greeks and asking, what about the brown Greeks? I'm not sure I actually ever received an answer or one that was satisfactory. I learned that if I did not embrace my own culture and heritage and my own brownness, then no one would. That lesson of self-acceptance and self-worth is one of the many lessons that I learned in this place that, as Billy Crudup said, is touched by a strange and special magic. And I am forever grateful. Thank you, and happy Diwali.